Just a quick video here about the early access release of Slay the Spire 2 because I can't stop playing it. If you're unfamiliar, this is a roguelike deck builder, and what does that mean? It means you pick a character, build a deck made up of attacks, defenses, buffs, and debuffs, among other things, and build on that deck as you defeat randomized enemies put in your path. You earn new cards for each battle you've won, cards that are unique to each character, and you also earn potions and relics and other fun stuff as well. Each card comes with an energy cost, with your default starting point being 3 energy cells, and well, it's probably easier just to show you an example of how this all works. One of the easier characters to start out with is called the Defect, since it carries with it 3 orbs that, if occupied, provide an extra attack, some defense, or extra energy. But the biggest reason the Defect is easy to get into is because of the number of 0 cards you can get with it, and by that I mean cards that don't cost any energy. You don't start out with them, you earn them as you go by fighting enemies, plus if you find an opportunity to upgrade these 2 cards here, whether it's at a rest site or at a question mark spot on the map, you'll channel an extra lightning orb and do 16 damage without the cost of a single energy cell. Throw on top of that all the other 0 cards you can obtain, plus cards like All for One, which summons every single 0 card in your discard pile, in addition to doing 10 damage by itself. That right there is a really simple strategy, and that barely scratches the surface of the number of different approaches you can take in Slay the Spire. The sequel is only in early access so far, but I can tell you right off the bat, Slay the Spire 2 takes the same approach as other modern sequels, like Hollow Knight Silksong and Hades 2, in that it builds on top of the foundation laid by the first game. There aren't any major structural changes because there didn't need to be. Instead, it's more of a rebalancing, removing a few cards and relics while adding a friggin' ton of new stuff, including 2 brand new characters which are both really fun to play as. The Ironclad character is still here, of course, and it's still pretty basic in that it's mostly built on huge attacks to go with strength boosts and vulnerable debuffs. And the Silent character is also kind of the same as the first game in that I really suck at it and have a hard time finishing a run with it. But yeah, it's still based around collecting and boosting shivs and poison. The Defect is a lot of fun to try different strategies with, but the 2 new characters really shine in the sequel. The Regent basically uses 2 different energy meters, the normal energy cells along with a secondary star energy count, with the key to every run being able to manage and balance both meters at the same time, and I gotta say, they've done a fantastic job balancing that character. I'm making it sound simple, but every run I've had with the Regent so far has been completely different. Some end up leaning way into star energy attacks, some end up leaning heavily into defense. It's been a lot of fun so far. The other new character is the Necrobinder, and it's kind of structured like the Defect, only instead of 3 orbs above you, you basically get 1 big orb in front of you in the form of this giant skeletal hand named Asti that can both take and deal damage. Again, it's a major mechanic that you have to manage if you want to finish a run, and there's enough flexibility here to either buff up Asti for either offense or defense, or both eventually, if you play your cards right. What's really nice is that if you need help getting used to the new characters, you can do it with a second player. Shout out to my friend Ross who carried my ass through this playthrough, but yeah, you can each pick a character, or the same if you'd like, and coordinate your attacks and defenses. If nothing else, it's nice to see which characters work together the best. The main point I'm trying to get at here is that Slay the Spire 2 doesn't try and reinvent the wheel, thankfully. Why would they? The basic gameplay here is so well balanced that by the time you get to the 3rd act, you'll be monitoring your energy plus any secondary meters, any relics that could give you any boosts based on the cards or curses that you have, or what the enemy is doing, and there are some literal forks in the road that force you to make some tough decisions. Do you risk your health smithing and upgrading a card at a rest site? Do you dare take on another curse that lowers your max HP even if it gets you some sweet new cards? Do you lean all the way into ice or dark energy with the Defect? Do you try and roll with a soul and exhaust deck with the Necrobinder? Do you save your star energy for big attacks or for big defense with the Regent? And, did you remember that you have potions? I always forget about the potions. Those are just a sample of something like 5 dozen different questions you'll have to answer in each playthrough, and when it comes to the early access of this game, along with the new cards, new relics, and new characters, it's so far so good, which means that an already great game is getting even better. And that's all for now. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.